Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. My name is Reuben, joined here today with Cam, and we are back to talk The Boys, Season 5. And before we get into today's review, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, and if you want more Nerd Soup, go ahead and check out our Patreon page, where we also review shows, movies, and kind of just shoot the shit. And follow us on social medias at Beau Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey, and at Cam, wherever you can find them.
Yeah, it's like an Easter egg hunt. Everybody go find me somehow, some way.
Right, yeah, the first person
send me a DM saying, "Oh, are you Cam?" And if you're right, what do we give them? A mug?
Yeah, we give them a mug. We don't have any more Nerd Soup mugs, but I've got plenty of mugs.
I just got this sick Snoopy mug, dude. I'm not giving that one up.
I feel very jealous now, actually. You trying to throw me off for this review?
Yeah. Just wanted to bring you down a peg.
Yeah, I got my fucking pretentious Van Gogh mug here. You know Van Gogh?
Vinny?
Did a couple of... Yeah.
Yeah, me and Vinny go way back.
Dude, the first person's going to find you on Letterboxd, and then they're going to crash out because there's no DMs. It's not fair.
It should have been me.
All right, The Boys, Season 5. Yeah, we're mostly going to focus on Episode 3, but we'll talk about generally how we feel this season has started with the first 3 episodes. I think, coming out of Season 4, I felt like it was inconsistent, but the things that work for The Boys, I think, have worked throughout the entire run. And that's specifically Homelander. And I think, in these first 3 episodes, Anthony Starr's character is a generational performance. Just how iconic he's become as the character, but also all the reaction gifs and memes that we've gotten out of this character. He's like up there with Tony Stark in Speed when it comes to how ubiquitous his face has become on the internet, dude. They use him for everything.
Yeah, they might be the top 3, actually.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's like
that one of Homelander in the theater is one of my favorite memes ever.
It's funny because I was going through like a list of them, and that was the last one I got to, and I had forgotten about it. I'm like, oh, I guess these are all the iconic gifs. And then that one came up, and I'm like, yo, that's so fucking funny. I forget, that's season 2, right? I forget which season it's from. No, season 3, after Stormfront.
Yeah. That's when, what is the knockoff of the Avengers they're making? Dawn of the Seven?
Yeah, with Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
So fucking random, dude. No, but even in this episode 3, the one with Madeline Stillwell, where he sees her as an angel, I feel like that's going to become an iconic reaction meme.
Dude's on his knees.
Yeah. Yeah, the cut from his hallucination to how he actually looks was just so hysterical, dude. I mean, it's just everything about this character is, he's a great villain. You hate him. We've been wanting the boys to kill him for 5 seasons now. And I think that's kind of grown stale, is that the boys have the same mission every season and they never accomplish it. But his character and the character study that they often do when the episodes focus on him, it never gets old. I have such a fun time watching this character on screen. So he's definitely been, once again, the best part of season 5 so far.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I almost feel bad for Anthony Starr because I don't know how I'm going to be able to see him as any other role ever again, because he's just so good as Homelander that I feel like if I saw him in real life, I would just call him Homelander. Because it's almost like he was born for that role. Somebody else who I thought that with was, have you ever seen Reacher? You ever seen that show?
Oh, yeah, with Alan Ritchson.
So I watched Blue Mountain State before Reacher.
Yeah.
And he plays like the biggest idiot ever in Blue Mountain State. So the fact that he was able to break out of that box, I hope that Anthony Starr is able to do a similar thing where maybe he gets more serious roles or just other roles in general after this, and we could just see his range and see more of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever been nominated for this show. I don't think he has. I don't think this show has been ever nominated for an Emmy, or if they have, none of the major awards. It has been Emmy worthy, and I usually hate that when people are reviewing shows and they're like, this is the episode that won him the Emmy. But it does feel like every season we get 3 or 4 Homelander focused episodes, or episodes where his performance is strong enough to warrant legitimate award consideration. That's how good he's been as this character. And honestly, it's like, it's similar with Omni-Man, where as evil as he can be, and the awful things that he's done to a lot of these characters, even with A-Train dying in episode 1, and that was a great hero moment for A-Train. I just find myself sympathizing with the guy because he's so pathetic and he's so lost, and I feel like Cecil from Invincible actually could have helped him. like got him a good therapist and like he did for Sinclair, you know. It's just a guy who's had to live his entire life trying to uphold this image of someone who could never exist in the real world, and the way that it's just totally destroyed his psyche, it's just eating him alive. So even getting to the end of the road for that character and for that story, it's still very entertaining for me.
Yeah, you have to feel bad for Homelander. I mean, this season especially, all he's been looking for is a family, people to rely on. It seems like his whole world's crumbling around him. I mean, Stillwell, obviously, he did her dirty in season 1. Soldier Boy's not around. He has to bring him back in order to try to rekindle that relationship with his father, who doesn't really care for him.
Just the softest, wettest boy.
Ryan has left him at this point. And I feel like it would be easy to hate on Homelander if you didn't know the context behind how he grew up. I mean, in what season is that? Is that last season where he's in the lab with all the doctors who raised him?
Yes, that is last season.
Yeah, and those people did him dirty, dude. He was in a room throwing a ball at a wall, and he was basically like your typical lab rat, and you can't help but feel bad for the character.
Yeah, and it's like his relationship with Soldier Boy. I mean, season 3, I don't know if it's the best season, but I just remember enjoying that character so much that I remember it as the best season because of Soldier Boy. I think that was just an incredible casting of Jensen Ackles, who, a lot amazing. Of people, he's so fucking good as this character. So just the contrast of him not saying anything during that medal ceremony when Ashley's giving him that bullshit medal, the contrast in demeanor between those two characters, where Homelander is so jealous and the guy isn't even saying anything. It's just the way that he's able to command the respect of all these reporters and all these people. And it's like people want to love him. There was the accusations of him being a Russian spy, but as soon as his name is cleared, everybody's back on the Soldier Boy train. And even though Homelander does have his supporters, it's not the same. It's more born out of fear, to where Soldier Boy is truly looked up to as a great hero. So having him back and the dynamic between those two characters has been fun so far. I mean, the scene of him in the bathtub full of...
Oh my God, bro. that hurt for me to watch.
What, you asked me up here so I could watch you swim in tit jizz?
He has so many great one-liners like that. Like, Soldier Boy feels like he was born for this universe, you know what I mean? He's one of my favorite characters, and that's why the season where he was in, what is that, season 3? That was my favorite season of the show so far. And I'm just happy to have him back and see how their relationship goes moving forward, because obviously Homelander, whether he meant to or not, was being naive, sending Soldier Boy out to handle Butcher when Butcher has the virus. And he's obviously not taking that. He's not taking that well. So it's going to be interesting. I wonder if we get a Soldier Boy betrayal at some point on Homelander, or how their relationship moves going forward.
Dude, I felt so bad for Soldier Boy when he was being poisoned. He was genuinely like, "Oh no, they just unfroze me. I'm finally back again, and now I'm gonna fucking die." That was funny too, dude. When they're talking about the V1 and that makes him immune, and Homelander's like, "You need to help me find another vial." And Soldier Boy's like,
I'd rather fist myself with a handful of razors. Besides, Cleopatra Jones said there's no V1 to find.
Yeah, Cleopatra Jones, that killed me.
Dude, his fucking, I think Hughie called him out on it too. He's like, all your jokes involve dudes blowing dudes. And it's like a tick for him. He's totally a man out of time. Yeah, and I feel like Sister Sage was my favorite part of last season. And but it's fun the way that they're playing with the idea of she's so smart and she's trying to maneuver this chessboard, but Homelander's such a wild card and it's so hard to predict him. Because even this idea of him unfreezing his dad, is it because he wants that relationship he never had, or is he jealous, or is it a combination of both things? And I feel like it is very complicated. You're starting to see a less confident Sister Sage the more that she has to grapple with the chaos of Homelander and the unpredictability.
Yeah, I mean, she's the smartest woman in the world, but she has the most volatile person in the world with her as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I think she could have foresaw Homelander breaking out Soldier Boy, but like the more he does, the worse it is for Sage. Sage needs to like sit him down and give him a timetable. This dude is just so uncontrollable. Like he's a baby or a child in a superhuman's body. So there's really no controlling him. The fact that he's not listening to Sage makes me think more and more that he's going to switch up, or Sage is going to switch up on him at some point, because it doesn't seem like she has much loyalty to Homelander per se, but more to power. Like she just wants to be in power or to be just free, I guess, in this time. Because if she wasn't on Homelander's side, she would 100% be in a freedom camp right now. Like there's no way Homelander would just let her walk around.
Yeah, no. And she's a fun character too, because her power, she's just able to outthink everybody. So I feel like in season 4, it was a fun introduction to that character and the concept of her abilities. But as the season played out, it made less and less sense, her actual plan. And then she comes through in the end like, oh, this is exactly how I knew it was going to go. And it's just like, well, I like you, so I'll just give you a pass. But I don't think that they're going to do that in season 5. So I think that might be where it's headed. Maybe it's not she suddenly grows like a moral conscience and she realizes this is just, he's too big to control. It's just impossible for anybody, even somebody as smart as me, to make this work, and he needs to be taken out, so that she's going to help the boys. But I mean, maybe after everything that happened in Gen V, after she lost her boo, so maybe she's going to be more willing to betray him.
Dude, he would have been putting up numbers this season. If Godolkin was still around, oh my God. It would have been too crazy. I don't think they would have had time for it all, obviously, but like he could take out Homelander himself, I think.
Yeah. No, he had to die. That's why it was a fun villain for those Gen V characters who are eventually, it looks like they're going to play a role in this season. I think Marie is in a couple of the shots from the trailer. But yeah, he was too powerful. He had to die. What do you think about the whole virus storyline? I feel like it's kind of an annoying MacGuffin, and I feel like they just keep doing that with the boys every season. It's like we just get this one thing and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if I love it or not, because now obviously we see the direction the rest of the season's going to go into. It's going to be a race to see who gets the V. Skipping ahead a little bit, Stan Edgar now on the side of Homelander, I assume. Not on the side of, but prisoner to Homelander. You're going to have to assume that Homelander's going to have the step ahead here in the race to get the V. I don't know. I don't know if I love it, honestly, because I don't know how in my head I thought they would eventually defeat Homelander. Like it was either going to be they cheated their way like they are now, if you want to call this cheating, or it was just going to be a giant like brawl where everybody gangs up on Homelander. They still have time to do it, but I hope it's like a smart way in which they beat him, because I don't want it to just be they get the virus, it works on him, and Butcher just does it in the end. I want some epic moments here at the end, especially after all the time we've spent with these characters for 6 years now, 5 years, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and people keep saying it needs to be Marie, but I feel like unless they find the best way to introduce that character without giving people the homework of watching Gen V, because that's what they said when Gen V came out. It's going to connect to the boys, but you don't need to watch it. So is it going to feel too random if this character we've never met before shows up and kills Homelander? Because she does seem like the one who's most capable of doing that.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing too. Like, do you think we get a lot of the Gen V crew this season? I mean, it seems like, how many episodes are we in? We're in 3 episodes. How many are there going to be? 8?
8, yeah.
So I feel like you have to bring them in like next episode if you're going to bring them in, and that you're not just squeezing them in for a cameo at the end. They already announced, is there another season of Gen V happening after this?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think Gen V's coming back.
There's a world where they only show up for like a little bit at the end, which I wouldn't like. Like kind of how Sam and Kate showed up at the end of last season of The Boys to like just capture them. I wouldn't love that, but I don't know how you tie it all together, or how you have a villain after like going into Gen V, Gen V season 3, unless if the villain's like Stan Edgar or something.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really hate that. Some of those characters left over from the boys going to Gen V. But I do think it feels like something they would have had to set up already. Like the idea of there's somebody out there who can actually kill Homelander.
Yeah,
Plan A is the virus, but plan B is I know someone. And I feel like narratively that could be cool for the audience too. It's like, who is it, and what's their power, and what's the relationship between Annie and this mysterious person who could kill Homelander. But now we're going into episode 4, and it's like Marie hasn't been, I think actually no, they do mention Marie in
they say
Stan
she's
Edgar.
off doing another thing.
Right, yeah.
But like, what is more important than this right now, Marie? I understand she could be saving like little people, but
she's at
like, what could she
Coachella.
be up to? Yeah, exactly. She's seeing the Biebs.
I mean, I got the tickets. It's Biebercello.
You think Biebercella's still going on in the boys universe? I don't think they got free peeps like that.
I think he may have been arrested and put into one of the camps with Chapel Roan and Tyler the Creator.
That was hilarious, dude. I had a question for you, a little theory here. What do you think's up with Noir? So obviously Noir was killed, the original Noir. Second Noir's here. He's very talkative last season. Seems to not be talking at all this season, and now the Deep switched up on him. I saw people theorizing it could be Sam, and that's how they bring in the group of Gen Vers. But like, I don't know, dude, because can't Homelander just see through the suit?
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting, but that seems like, I wonder if Homelander and Black Noir have had any scenes where they talk this season, because I feel like they haven't. So maybe it's like,
well, he's in the same room as him
for it. Yeah,
at one point when
during the meeting, right?
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something up with Noir that could be how they bring in the Gen Vers. And they're just super undercover.
Yeah, I felt like the thing with Noir was more the Deep wanting to impress Homelander because he's made himself look like such an asshole over the years, and especially this season, pissing his pants in front of him. And turning the Deep into Andrew Tate has been pretty funny. Although it's so tough because obviously there's parallels with the politics and the cultural commentary, but it almost feels like a little outdated, making the Deep Andrew Tate. You know, Andrew Tate feels like a 2024 guy, you know?
Yeah,
the 2026 guy is...
He's got to be clavicular.
Right, 100%, yeah. And I guess he's kind of fitting into that archetype as well.
Dude, last episode when he said, "Dead ass, bro, on God." I was going to die.
Saw with my own eyes. No cap on God, bro.
But see, that's the problem I think the boys has run into, to where the heroes of the show, outside of Butcher, are not as interesting as the villains. Not even close. The villains are just blowing them out of the water. And even a character like the Deep, who is there to be comic relief and just a total fucking pathetic goofball, but he's so fucking funny as that character, dude, Chase Crawford. Like, him and Anthony Starr are giving the best performances in this show.
Yeah.
And he's a character that doesn't have that much depth, but I think the way that they use him to satirize certain figures in the culture and certain movements has been absolutely genius. And he's still one of the best parts of the show.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I do want the villains to obviously lose, they're my favorite part of the show and what makes me see every week to watch the show.
100%, dude. Yeah, no, they've totally taken over all of the hype going into these episodes. You're not concerned about what the boys are going to do. It's more so, what are the villains going to do? How are they going to react to these stories? Like even the story, the virus plotline, it feels like they're repeating shit for the boys, but for Homelander, it's something new. Like this idea of he can become immortal, and he's embracing that because in his mind, he becomes a god. So it's not that he doesn't have to win over people anymore. It's just there's no choice because he can't be fucking killed. Yeah. So that's the last thing he needs to fully embrace being a psychopath, you know, completely cutting himself off from humanity. And it doesn't seem like it's going to end well for that character because that's totally fucking insane. But it's interesting that, you know, it gives him, you know, it just makes the character have momentum throughout the series or the season. And I feel like the main characters just, I don't know, they're almost running in place.
I hate to be a hater right now, but is there any Hughie people out there? Like any diehard Hughie fans? I like Hughie, but like I care so much more. Can't be a single person who likes Hughie more than Homelander. And if there are, I don't know what you're doing out there, bro.
Ooh, I like internment camp Hughie. She's zesty.
Fuck you.
It's just like they have to give more depth to them because at this point, Butcher's a villain too, kind of in his own way. I mean, he's not a good guy by any means. Dude killed his own dad, trying to use Ryan. That part got me real mad, dude. Yo, can he be nice to Ryan for like 5 seconds, bro?
Dude, he's
every
such
time
a
they
dick.
start like working together and being nice to Ryan, he's instantly like, Ryan, get the fuck out of here. I hate you.
Yo, he couldn't even like be a little nicer about the fact that he was lying about Ryan having destiny.
Bro, like
just you could still just lie
Yeah, yeah. You could not treat him like shit, and then he's instantly like, "Damn, I shouldn't have done that." But I guess that's just Butcher's what would it be, like a mirror to Homelander almost. So
oh yeah, 100%, dude.
that's what he just can't control it.
Without that germ, you'd just be another stupid kid on a fucking suicide run.
And I think he's by far the only character in The Boys that has remained interesting throughout the show, because it feels like Hughie is just relegated to, I'm the conscious, I'm the canary in the coal mine when it comes to Butcher. If Butcher goes too far, I'm the one who's going to pull him back. And sometimes that's not going to work. But his relationship with Starlight, I like them together. I think they have great chemistry. It's a cute relationship, but it doesn't really go anywhere. They don't have really there's no rockiness to that relationship. They just, which is fine. I guess that's, it's cool that they found happiness in each other, but eventually maybe one of them dies and that's going to be the big dramatic punch.
Yeah. I mean, well, we thought it was going to happen right there at the end of last episode. Maverick gets exploded.
Bro, I for a second, I thought that was Hughie. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, no way they do Hughie like this right now. But then Starlight leaves, so maybe that'll give them some growth here. Now that Starlight, because she wants to leave to protect Hughie. I think that could potentially lead to Hughie using the compound V again. Or what was it called? The temp V? Remember how he was like going invisible and teleporting and stuff like that? He starts using that to protect himself, and that throws a wrench in their relationship. So I'm hoping we see. Because I hate to be a Hughie hater. I like Hughie because he's supposed to be like us, you know what I mean? He's supposed to be a normal person who's in the situation and the person you relate to. But I just wish we got a little bit more from him. And that's not on Jack Quaid, I think. It's just on what they're giving him to do,
Yeah, I like Jack Quaid. Sometimes I get a little annoyed by the all shucks demeanor. But it feels like they keep teasing that with that relationship, different things. Hold on, I'm just going to wait for the ice cream truck to drive by.
Is it Mr. Softy?
No, we don't get softy out here.
Oh,
we don't get softy in these streets.
Broke ass. I had Mr. Softy the other day, bro. Really brightened my week up.
That's always been a thing for this town. We never get Mr. Softy. It's always just the regular old ice cream man.
Got to make a call to corporate.
Yeah, fucking sign a petition.
We want Softy. When do we want
Showing
him?
up to my congressman's town hall.
There's been a lack of Mr. Softy here lately, and we just don't want to stand for it anymore.
Can we get to the most important issues?
Lower your taxes if you're not getting Mr. Softy, honestly.
What am I even paying all these property taxes for? No, but I'm going to go back to my point.
Yeah.
We might actually keep that in. That's good stuff. Some ice cream commentary. I feel like they keep teasing different things with their relationship. Like sometimes it's Annie's too focused on being a hero and she can't do both. She can't protect Hughie and also save the world. And I feel like with Hughie, they kind of do that as well, where I don't know, there's just I like the relationship and I think the writers really enjoy having those actors together, but it feels a little rudderless, where it's like they shouldn't be doing this anymore. They should be off living happily ever after type of thing. It just doesn't feel like, are they risking their lives? Sure, but what are they really sacrificing emotionally at this point that they already haven't been gambling with? And I keep going back to that word, but it just feels like the stakes, we've seen them before. And then when you really hone in on these characters, it's the same thing. Like the larger story and then the smaller stories between these characters, it's like we've done it already. With somebody like A-Train, I feel like that was a perfect ending for that character because we've been building up to that moment of A-Train's redemption. And then we saw it last season where he finally saves that kid. It's the first time he actually ever saved somebody. And then here he has that great hero moment where he confronts Homelander.
Yeah, A-Train had the most full circle story I've ever seen. I mean, he literally died because he didn't want to run over somebody again, like how he did to Hughie's girlfriend. I forget her name. Why am I forgetting her name? Amber, maybe? I don't know.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think you drilled that.
Yeah, when I say Amber, I think of Invincible, but I think it was Amber.
Oh, shit. No, it might be Invincible.
Somebody let us know in the comments. But it was a good full circle story for A-Train, and it sucks to not have him around anymore, but I thought it was great for the character.
Totally. Yeah, where it's like, did I want to see more A-Train working with the boys? Of course, because I feel like that happened so quickly where he finally does. Or it's MM who gets the rest of the boys to agree with working with A-Train. But then that's the bittersweet nature of his redemption. And I think, I didn't even pick up on that he does avoid running over that woman, and it allows Homelander to catch up with him. And probably the scariest Homelander has ever been. I love when he shows off how powerful he can actually be, because A-Train is so fast and Homelander's keeping pace with him, for a little bit, I thought maybe A-Train was going to fuck him up because he can't keep up with the speed, but it wasn't a problem at all for Homelander. And when they do him in the dim lighting where you can only really see his eyes and he's like a phantom following him around, that was really creepy. And then he dies he dies with honor, not backing down from Homelander. He's no longer scared of him. So it's one of those characters similar to Omni-Man. You wish he would have figured this out earlier, and how many more lives could he have saved, but it was very difficult for him to get to that point, and that's why it's a great ending for that character. Like you said, perfectly full circle.
Yeah, do you think we get a moment like that for the Deep? I mean, before A-Train died, he talked to the Deep about how scared the Deep seems of Homelander and how he sees it on him. Do you think we get a redemption moment like that? Yeah. And then he gets bitched by the hammerhead shark he rode in on. But do you think we get a moment like that for the Deep, or do you think he's past redemption at this point?
I think the Deep is past redemption. I think he's too stupid for it. Where A-Train was able, because he's a bit more intelligent than the Deep, that he's able to really grapple with the hypocrisy of the life that he was living. I think the Deep is too shallow for that. I think he's basically tied to Homelander's fate. And I think that's how we're going to see the Deep die. Is that it's going to be the same episode where Homelander finally dies, and it's going to be really stupid and pathetic. And I think that it's a fitting ending for that character, because he hasn't shown, I mean, maybe in season 1, but it's always more self-pity than actual remorse for his actions. Even when he does that apology tour and he writes his stupid book talking about what happened between him and Annie, it was more about rehabilitating his image rather than turning an actual new leaf. So I think it's appropriate for that character to just remain pathetic throughout his entire arc. And even with the Deep, with A-Train, that first episode, it's because he's trying so hard to keep up with the image that he's built, and he's taking these drugs and he's abusing his own body, and he loses control. It's not like he went out in search of this person and killed her. Obviously he doesn't mind the cover-up. They've been building up towards that redemption for that character, and with the Deep, I don't think it's necessary. I think you just keep him pathetic.
A-Train reminds me of Tiger Woods. That's just the vibe I get of him. It's like, hey, he's the GOAT at his things, but bro be using drugs and messing up a few times here and there. I was going to say, if he wins another green jacket, he might be redeemed over there.
No, if he gets 18, dude.
That's my GOAT.
I was so hyped for him to be playing in the Masters too, dude. A-Train gets pulled over. He's like, I'm on the phone with Homelander. Sorry.
They could have done that. Like, they wish they were coming back for another season. Dude.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, it's just so hard to keep up with the day-to-day, but I feel like they've done a good job. Like, even the new chief of staff, or the new joint chiefs of staff.
Oh, Ashley and them?
Yeah, like the religious superhero, that it's like he never talks about military stuff. He's just like talking about God and shit. I'm like, oh, that was an interesting prediction. I feel like you guys kind of nailed that. But it's also funny the way, like, season 1 almost felt a little dated with their commentary on religion and politics, because it was written in the mid-2000s and way more relevant for that time. But then even now, it does feel like religion is back at the forefront of politics, where everything's justified because Jesus is cool with it. We can do all these things because Jesus got our back. But I feel like Ashley will eventually betray them.
Oh, she has to, right? I mean, that tumor she has is literally like her Jiminy Cricket right now. It's her conscience. And I mean, I feel like they've been building towards Ashley's flip since we first meet her in The Boys. Obviously, there was a point where she went back down the deep end, but at this point, I mean, if she doesn't switch up on Homelander, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, definitely. And she's the typical character who feels like she can do good if she enters the corporate world. I'll change it from the inside. And then she gets totally swallowed up by the machine. And just becomes another cog. So yeah, and it's a cool visualization of the conscience that's trying to get her to do the right thing, but it's an actual fucking tumor of her own head in the back of her head. They always do the most grotesque way of showing powers. And it's like with Rockhard. Like Rockhard is absolutely disgusting. Or when Kimiko's fighting the Catwoman and she just coughs up a hairball on her.
Yeah.
But the thing with Ashley, yeah, she's got the Voldemort head, and every time she speaks up, it just goes over terribly. And Sister Sage is like, I don't give a fuck about your psychic skull.
It's been very good. I've liked this season so far in this episode. One thing we haven't talked about yet is Ryan sticking up for himself against Homelander, dude. That was the most yesterday I was watching the episodes and I watched The Boys first and then was going to watch Invincible after. And when Ryan's getting his ass beat on the ground, that just felt like the think
oh yeah,
part of Invincible.
Yeah.
Like, what will you have in 500 years?
And even when he hesitates,
what that felt like.
I was like, dude, is this the moment where Homelander's like, what am I doing? Why am I punching this innocent child who is my son? Because he hesitates and then he goes right back for it. So he doesn't pull back like Omni-Man eventually does. No, that was brutal.
And the fact that he just leaves him there and he doesn't bring him back was interesting to me as well. Like, I thought he was going to bring him back and, like, ground him, you know? Like,
dude.
All right, no video games for a week. But he just left him there. So Butcher's coming to pick him up now. I guess they're going to have to rekindle their friendship, or Ryan's going to have to go back into hiding or something.
Dude, that is actually a great point that he does leave him there. It's like he doesn't kill him maybe because he's his son, or he wants to leave the threat that Ryan poses out there. There's a part of Homelander that knows somebody needs to take him out, and possibly it could be Ryan. Because it's not until Ryan draws blood that Homelander really starts to beat the crap out of him. So he's just leaving him there to do whatever. You know that Butcher is going to be on his tail, and that Butcher is going to be the one who, well, he doesn't know that for a fact, but it looks like Butcher finds him, and maybe Ryan is going to come back for round 2. But it is so tragic for that character because he's caught between these two vicious personalities and then the larger war between humanity and the Supes, and he just finds himself to be a victim. That no matter what he does, he seems to always be hurting people that he loves, and then himself, he gets hurt as well. If it's not emotionally, we see it here, it's physically, where his own father is beating the crap out of him after his stepfather manipulated him into this situation to begin with. So he ends up just being such a tragic character because he's very sweet and you could tell he wants to do the right thing, but his destiny is to suffer. And I saw somebody make this point on the internet that when Homelander is beating him, he never pleads for his life. He never begs for mercy. And I think that's a cool little aspect of the character, is that he's in this moment, he's willing to accept his fate. And he's not even going to give him the respect of pleading for his life. If I'm going to die like this, so be it. I tried to take you down. I failed. And I'm going to die like a man. And that's why it's sad for this character, because he's still a boy.
Yeah, it's so tragic for Ryan because if you think back, like, I guess in the Boys universe, it would be like 3 years ago. He was living a normal life, or normal to him at least, you know. He was just living with his mom, and then everything completely switches up, and he had no control over that.
Yeah,
Life
dude,
hits you hard.
I didn't even realize we've had Ryan since season 2. Remember when Homelander pushed him off the roof?
Dude, that's one of the funniest scenes ever, bro. That's a meme right there. That's a Homelander meme right there, dude, where he throws him off the roof. He thinks he's going to fly. And she comes running out. She's like, what the hell?
Come on, look at him. There's not a scratch on him. You know why? Because he's my son. And you're raising him to be a pussy.
Oh, dude. Yo, that's so fucking funny, man. Early Boys was out of control. Like, even when they show the footage of him on Flight 77, whatever the fuck it was, when he lets all of them die on the plane when the terrorists hijack it, like, that was such a fucking crazy moment. And the fact that and he's watching it with the Deep. He literally sent the Deep on a mission to destroy the black box. And he's like, can you believe that they would make this AI of me doing this?
He's like, oh, you could clearly see I don't have 6 fingers. It's like
So funny,
when they
dude.
started the season on that, I thought we were going to go full like Nazi Germany, even though we already are in that state right now in the show. I thought we were going to go full like Homelander. Everybody knows he's a bad guy. He's just completely running it like a tyrant. But the fact that they covered it up felt amazing. It felt like that's exactly what would happen in real life if something like that happened.
Oh yeah, no, dude, they don't even bother when it comes to lying or lying good. It's just because the way that they've consolidated power, they feel like they can't be touched. So you can make up these ridiculous, obviously transparent lies. And it doesn't matter if people believe you or not, because you're still the one in power. It's like it does reflect the way that politics has changed. It used to be if you said fuck on tape, you would have to resign. Now it's like you can get caught doing crazy things on tape, and it's just like, well, what are you going to do? Shoot me? Especially for Homelander, because if you shoot him, he's fucking bulletproof. But yeah, it was funny to see that come back. And but it does feel like they're almost going mask off with Homelander because of all these delusions that he's having about becoming immortal, and that he's just going to tell them, hey, stop with the ridiculous PR. We don't need to lie anymore. This is what it is. I am the god. You are all my subjects. Everybody needs to get in fucking line. And I think that's where, even with Soldier Boy, when he's sleeping with Firecracker and she's saying, oh, he doesn't look at anyone like he looks at you. So I think there's room there for Soldier Boy to side with Homelander. I think we could see that this season.
Side with Homelander?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I feel like Soldier Boy can go either way at this point. Like, I feel like a lot of the characters in the show, he's kind of just out there for himself. We'll see what happens, because the other guy from Supernatural is supposed to be a character as well, right?
Oh, is he?
I think so. I think he was in the trailer. I remember people going crazy for that on Twitter. So I would like to see some interactions with them. Maybe he's a neutral party who they team up. That would be hilarious. But yeah, I think he can go either way. I would like him to side with Butcher and them, just because I obviously want Homelander to die at some point. But it would be interesting if, imagine they do take out Homelander and then Soldier Boy ends up becoming the final villain here. That'd be insane.
I wouldn't hate that either, honestly, because that's kind of the conclusion they come to when they're talking to the doctor, Dr. Shah, that he's unkillable. I think Mother's Milk says it.
Yeah. You would have to just put him on ice again.
Yeah, and I know they're doing a prequel show with Soldier Boy and the first 5 heroes. So it looks like they're setting that up too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That should be cool.
I'm also excited to see the dynamic between Stan Edgar and Homelander, because that was one of my favorite parts of season 2, Stan Edgar's character and the way that he was able to tame Homelander in a way that Stillwell wasn't. Stillwell being the motherly figure, he was more stern father. And now it feels like Homelander's got all the power in that dynamic. So how is he going to use or attempt to manipulate Stan Edgar? And if that's going to backfire, because, Edgar's pretty capable himself.
Yeah, I wonder if they get into some type of deal where he makes Edgar the CEO of Vought in exchange for info on where the V1 is.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because it does. Edgar says that none exist, but he could be lying.
Yeah, Edgar does want power as well. As you saw in his conversation with all Edgar wants is, he's a power hungry guy. And yeah, I'm really excited to have him back, because I feel like I haven't got enough Giancarlo Esposito in a while. I feel like for a couple years there, we were getting him in everything. Mando stopped, Better Call Saul stopped, and then he was kind of out of the boys for a little bit. So I'm happy we got him back.
Yeah, dude, especially because I loved him so much as this character when they introduced him, and I feel like he has been underused in this show. It's one of my favorite tropes. It's like Cecil in Invincible. I love the characters who are in this universe of all these superheroes. They're powerless, but still, they're a force to be reckoned with because of how smart they are and all the resources that they have access to. So I think that could be potentially a really fun dynamic moving forward. I'm so sick of... It's fun that she's speaking now, with Karen Fukuhara getting a chance to show us a different side of this character, although it very much still feels like the same Kimiko.
16-hour flight and not a fucking peep.
Because all you can say is oi oi oi, cunt cunt cunt.
Like the better with her mouth shut.
Although she's way more vulgar. But her and Frenchie, I'm sick of it. I could do with not seeing them together for the rest of the show.
They're definitely not making it out, right? The whole way they're talking about having kids and everything, one of them has to die, whether it be Kimiko with the virus or Frenchie somehow goes down.
It better be fucking Frenchie.
All they're doing right now is fucking.
Yeah, dude.
Those dudes are like rabbits.
I don't even like it because I feel like they went for it when they kiss and then she's like, oh, this feels weird. You're more like a brother to me. And that was fine. I way more prefer them as platonic. To me, it's just like, it's almost a little gross seeing them fucking.
Yeah, I mean, Kimiko had that danging though.
No, some of the shit she's saying, I'm like, dude.
Every character, that you have the same reaction as the characters on the show. We're like, what the fuck?
Like anal DP one dude's thighs draped over another dude's, both pumping away on some poor girl fucked.
Hey.
Every
like
time
worse
it
than
happens.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two characters, I'm sick of them. Mother's Milk, still cool.
Yeah, I like MM, but I want him to do more than just give motivational speeches. I mean, when he was in the camp and was betting or was beating up that dude, that was pretty cool. But and I did like Frenchie in that moment where Frenchie came and was like, oh, give me money on my friend over there. That was a cool moment. It really set the tone for the season. It felt like they had been there for a while, all that stuff. But yeah, I just need the boys to be more about the boys for this last season. Like, I need the boys to do more because I have felt attachment to these characters over the years, and I am interested to see where they go. So I just hope that they stick the landing with them because I do care about them.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. And I do think that it's good that they're ending it now and not pushing it even more because it very much feels like they're running out of ways to tell this story. So hopefully it is satisfying, not just for the villains, because it's already been so much fun watching Homelander every week, but for the main characters as well. As you mentioned, it is a show called The Boys, and they are the boys. So we will see. Going into the last 5 episodes, we only have one confirmed title. That's episode 5, one shots. So I've, season 4 was probably the weakest for me. So I think that so far it's been a bit of a step up, and we will see how it ends. Cam, thank you for joining me on this review. Guys, thank you for listening. Make sure you come back next week. We're going to take it episode by episode, and hopefully we'll get Aaron on some of those reviews, and maybe even Andres. Andres loves The Boys.
Yeah, Andres put me onto The Boys.
Oh,
he forced
wow.
me to watch it in his house one day.
It sounds like Andres, honestly. He had you tied up like translucent.
Yeah, literally.
Andres truly is that guy who forces you to watch a show and just watches you the entire time as you're watching it.
You go on your phone for 2 seconds. He's like, all right, we got to rewind.
He's already rewinding it. It's like you missed this part. You want me to put on closed captions?